Morning, it's Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Sitting in my tiny house on wheels, my off-grid tiny home with a tiny house wood stove, and I love my truck. I repeat myself, yes. Why? Because I make videos for a living, and I know a lot of people are getting annoyed at me repeating tiny house and off-grid home, and I love my truck, but actually forget the truck, that's just because I love my truck. But the rest is because I make videos for a living, and YouTube knows what you're saying. They analyze your video, and if you want your videos to be seen by a lot of people, then you're going to pay attention to what you say in the video. So I'm going to say the Off-Grid Project every day, and mention my tiny house on wheels. Let Google know what I'm doing, because it would make sense to make all these videos and have nobody see them because nobody could find them. So I hope that makes sense to y'all, and I hope you can bear with me as I talk about my tiny house all the time, again and again, and I will continue to do so as long as I make videos and as long as search engine optimization is a fact of the world, a fact in life. If you were a store owner running a business, then in your website you would repeat words related to your business a lot. And that's just the way it is. Google is the one in charge of that, not me. So anyway, just thought I'd explain that here for a minute. It's snowing, and it wasn't supposed to. I just double-checked the weather, and there's no snow on the list for right now. Ugh, put my snow pants up against the door because it's freezing on my feet. I have the certain air gaps intentionally opened still to allow the air to come in for the wood stove, because this is a very sealed house. Therefore, I need air, fresh air intakes, or there would be danger of suffocation. Well, when this unexpected, unpredicted snow stops, I will go out with a broom and sweep the solar panels. It was looking good this morning. I don't know what we got right now with the... oh, wow. That I did not expect to see. Look at that. See, with the snow, it really, really makes it... increases the power output. 130 watts right now. I did not expect that at all. And it's only... I think it's... what time is it? Hold on a second. It's just 10 o'clock, and my batteries are topped off already and sitting at a relatively high voltage. So I'm going to flip on my inverter and charge up my laptop battery. I've been running off the laptop battery all morning to conserve power and allow the forklift batteries to top off. Now, what I'm doing now is I only charge up the laptop battery off the forklift batteries when there's enough power coming off the solar panels, and when that green light is lit up. When that green light is lit, then I flip on the power to charge my laptop. If that green light is not lit, I'm running my laptop generally off its own battery power then. And then what I'll do is once it's charged up, I'll flip off my inverter and run the laptop on its own battery again for a while. And recently I've been shutting off the modem whenever it's not in use. Because when I realize it's 300 watts a day, I conserve my energy. And the wires you're seeing actually will eventually be hidden. What you're seeing there is wires that are going to have to go behind some trim work. So forgive me for what looks like chaos. The white one is a network wire going to my charge controller, by the way. That's something new, plugged into the modem. So I can see a daily update of the total power coming into my tiny house on wheels. It's 11:30 and it's partly sunny, which is really good. I'm pumping out some good solar power, although the solar panels are still in shade. And just to show you, see, there's shadows of trees everywhere across the whole meadow, see? And this is the problem right now. I really am trying my best to show you guys, because I know you're not here, and it's nearly impossible for you to really comprehend the situation, but the sun is blocked by trees all across the entire meadow right now. There are patches of sun, but that of course moves as the sun moves across the sky, or if you want to get technical, as the earth moves. But anyway, for common speaking terms, people say the sun moves. I am brainstorming day and night. Literally every single day I look out here, all day, at every hour of every day, I'm out here looking around at the sun's patterns and the shadows cast by the trees. And I do realize something very important, but something I cannot change now since the ice storm about a month ago. I could move my solar panels to a more optimal position, and I want to, but unfortunately that's not going to happen until it's too late, because everything's frozen under the ice. There's about an inch of ice underneath the snow all the way out to the solar panels, and the wire that I'm using, which by the way is hooked up to the wind turbine, which is now spinning happily, is buried under the ice. I can't move it for anything. Now, I'm looking at peak sunlight hours. The sun is right behind these trees right here, so I'm gonna have to clear them out to get peak sunlight hours in winter. Regardless, this whole clump of trees right here is gonna have to go for me to get peak winter sunlight hours. So I think I'm just gonna end up going crazy with a chainsaw out here one day and just have to make this happen, because otherwise this is just not gonna improve. During winter, the sun is barely clearing the treetops, barely at all, and the only time I'm getting any real direct sunlight on my solar panels or in any part of the meadow is in the afternoon hours, between the hours of about 2:30 and 5 p.m. as just before the sun sets down below the trees. I'm getting sunlight on the solar panels, but that is not peak sunlight hours. That is off-peak sunlight hours. Peak sunlight hours would be starting roughly about right now, where the sun is below the trees. You can see heavy shadows across the meadow entirely. And this is peak sunlight hours that I'm missing out on. And I've just got to shave down those trees and get those solar panels higher. So again, this will all be solved pretty soon. I'm going to put like a visor up on top of the front top of the tiny house on wheels, trim all this section of trees down that I said are annoying me, and yes, it's going to cause summer heat, but that visor will hopefully stop the sun from shining in the front of the tiny house and protect the house from extreme temperatures. And I am considering strongly building a front attached passive solar greenhouse on the front of the tiny house, which will be portable, removable, not exactly attached, but it'll be portable, temporary, removable, and quickly pulled away with a truck if I had to in a hurry, for example. But sort of like a lean-to type greenhouse thing against the front of the tiny house on wheels, which will be a passive solar heating supply source in winter and block the winds from this entire side of the house and provide all year round vegetables. So that's a plan I'm working on right now, and hopefully I'll be able to get that together as soon as this white stuff goes away and the ice that's under it. And then I'll be able to start using the barn wood to make that happen. So that's what I've been doing for the last few hours here, on and off, is planning the greenhouse and plotting the solar patterns and what needs to be trimmed back and what needs to be changed to improve my solar panel production. Well, I'm hitting, it's hard to see because there's so many clouds passing over, but I'm in absorption mode, and I just hit 320 watts, which is the most I've ever seen. Oh no, a cloud went over whenever I grabbed the camera. I just hit a peak 320 watts, and I'm in, well, I was in absorption mode. Figures, I grab the camera and it flips out. There it goes. I had 330 watts or something like that, 320, 330, which is the most I've seen yet this winter. And this is telling me that the batteries are looking pretty good, 15.4 volts. Now these are forklift batteries, not your standard car batteries, so 15.4 volts for the forklift batteries is a happy thing. I just shut off all power in the tiny house, all loads, so that the batteries can suck up that energy in this absorption mode and get the final top off. Again, I have not yet had any drain on the batteries since the day I installed these forklift batteries, nothing directly. Anytime I use power, it's either during peak sunlight or with a generator running, because I am being very, very careful with these forklift batteries until I am absolutely certain I know what their tendencies are and what their capabilities are in all sorts of weather and temperature ranges. So I'm still testing and exploring their voltages and also specific gravity, which I hope to be doing soon on video. Problem is, specific gravity readings has to be done after sundown, and it's awkward to do that on camera and show you. But I'm going to try my hardest to get that done today and try to show you. It's going to be awkward and dark, but I want to do that on video. But specific gravity has to be done after the charge is off and the batteries have rested to show me what their actual charge status is. So again, we'll try to get that today. Been busy today, off camera. I know a lot of people are complaining my video quality has been reduced recently, and I can tell you since winter it has been reduced because I don't run around with a camera much. I do a lot of work and then I tell you about it later. The reason is I've got so few hours in the day. Now what I've done here, I've taken those 4 solar panels that were not being used and I've laid them out. Now again, here you have shade on one of the solar panels. Now you've got shade on the other side. Now it's midday and now the other side of the yard is shaded. So I've either got afternoon sunlight or morning sunlight, but never both. So what I'm going to do, this is going to really max out my system here. I'm going to put these 4 panels here. Actually, I'm going to move that one over some. And the reason I never did this is it's right in my driveway. This is where I drive when there's no snow. This is where I drive through all the time, hauling gear and stuff. So this will be temporary. I know people hate temporary, but yeah. The seasons change, things change. I have to change with the seasons. Solar panels have to be moved. So anybody with moving solar panels, it's temporary. So are mine. So I'm going to move that one over to there, which will be right in my way. So in spring I'll have to move them again. But what I'll get is peak south facing morning to noon solar power. Then I'll be taking those solar panels, which are now in midday sun, and what I had set them up is for an average. And once I get the wires pulled out because they're buried under ice, I'll put them up against the tiny house for afternoon sunlight. And as you can see right now, looking at the tiny house, you can see a little tiny bit of shade on that house, just a little bit from 2 trees. So actually these branches right here need to come down. I think just these branches here will take off that shadow, okay? And then there's a tree, which is this one right here. So he's got to come down. And then I'll have full winter sun, winter afternoon sun on the tiny house. And that will give me full afternoon solar power in winter, having the solar panels up leaning against the front of the house. So that'll maximize my complete solar power output throughout the entire day when I move those. It's a lot of work, and I have decided to sacrifice a 100-foot wire. It's a 16 gauge, so it's nothing spectacular, but because I'm only looking at pushing 8 amps at 130 volts through a 16 gauge wire, do the math. That's average what this wire was made for, about 120 volts AC, and say 8 amps. Actually, is 8 amps at 130? Yeah, maximum 8 amps is what would be pushing through that. So there might be some loss in the lines, but it'll get me some extreme or some extra power that I didn't have before, because I've been playing around waiting, trying to save up for a new wire. So I'm going to sacrifice this 100-footer. Though I hate to do that, I'm going to end up doing that. Cut the ends off and use it. And then, as I said, I'll be moving those other solar panels when I can get the wire out. that or make a new wire and have to dig that out in summer or leave it up for the solar panel. But either way, I'm moving things around. Let's go inside the RV. So I gotta go this way through the tunnels. I've got tunnels all through my property, going around for everything. I haven't got this one hooked up yet because I now have to figure out where I'm going to put the RV solar panels, because now I have the tiny house solar panels going there. It's got full sunlight on this solar panel now, which is connected to the RV, so I should have very good power. Let me take you inside. The old golf cart batteries are sitting at 13.6 volts right now. So if you remember, they were, what were they yesterday? 12.48 the other day when I measured them. So now they're at 13.6 volts and being charged by that single 45 watt Harbor Freight solar panel. And I'm going to leave that on there full time. Later I'll bring out the, as I get building up together, like I said, I'll bring out the Bedini motor. But I just wanted to show you where that's sitting right now. And that's slowly charging up these old golf cart batteries. Now these were these were the sulfated batteries, so I will put the other battery desulfator on here too, and probably only use it during daylight hours so that the batteries won't be discharged during the night, just in case it pulls too much current for these, for whatever they handle when it's cold at night out here. Also today I finished snow blowing out the driveway. Now this would have been a lot of work. This is probably Heart Attack City if I had done this with a shovel. So I'm so thankful for that snowblower now. Look at that. Cleaned right up. This was a little bit of a job though, because there's still ice underneath. You can see I was sort of spinning out with my feet here and there. And I cleaned out to where the snowplow had cleared. So all my driveway I did myself. Because I asked him to stop here because trying to come down there would make a mess on the ice, and he wouldn't have any floor to plow the snow to. And then I took my little snow blower and I cleaned up out here a little bit. There was some slop that he left here, and probably didn't see it. It was probably the night when he did it. But anyway, I cleaned it up and smoothed it off, and made a spot to pull my car in and turn it around. I've got a parking spot. All that done with my little snowblower that I fixed the other day. Isn't that nice? So I can pull in, I can pull forward, back into the parking spot, and then I can just drive right out whenever I need to. No maneuvering, no stress. Got my own parking spot now. Did that with that little Toro 2-cycle snowblower that I just restored the other day. So, been busy. Using my daylight. I need a camera crew out here filming for me. I do so much off camera. Honestly, I'm sorry, but I don't have time to run around, set up the camera, push record. And when I move somewhere, I gotta go run over, pick up the camera, set it up, push record, and then I move somewhere, go set up the camera, push record. I think you get the idea. So, yeah, having a full-time camera operator would be great. Well, going to go and have lunch. Nope, wait, I forgot. I got my battery desulfator in my pocket. We're going to take that inside here. Got the Clen battery desulfator hooked up to my battery pack. This is the golf cart batteries, and it's showing a CF12 setting. It's doing a self-test. Pretty cool. It's got a digital readout. I never really paid attention to the displays before, and there it's pulsing. You can hear it actually. Now it's pumping high frequency pulses of high voltage into the golf cart batteries, which breaks up the sulfation on the plates, converts them back into lead and sulfuric acid, and then it pauses a little bit, and in a couple seconds it gives them some rest, and then it pulses again. And it just keeps doing that. And I think if I hit this button, it'll show me the battery status. No, I forgot what that button does. I'm gonna have to read the oh yeah, there. Hold the button a couple seconds, it tells you the voltage, which is the same, so they are agreeing with one another. So, restoring the golf cart batteries. Gonna leave them out here. Now there's no stress on them, no load. The only load is the desulfator, of course. And, oops, there it goes. And that's going to be the only strain on them, the only drain at all. And I think that's like 200 milliamps or something like that. And let them get restored. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. And you'll see the sun is below the trees. But if I clipped just those trees right there, I'd still be getting sun on my solar panels if they were up here against the tiny house on wheels. See the shadow of the water tank? That's good solar right there. It's not peak, but sorry, I'm out of breath. I just split some logs. I'll show you in a minute how deep out I have to go now. But it's not peak, but it's solar. So now you can see that my panels over here that are facing south, and yes, that is due south. I used a compass and traced it to south. And anyway, you'll see that my panels are not in the, well, they're getting some sunlight, but not enough to do anything. And the ones that'll catch the morning rays, see, these were a general all-purpose solar panel where I had them located, caught the average midday sun. But optimum is to catch morning rays and afternoon rays. So I've got pretty much, then I'll have sun at any given time. So these guys here will be set up tomorrow. Problem is, I still have to dig out the wood that I'm going to use to frame them with, because obviously I can't leave them laying, and I got to get them off the ground and angled up. So another day yet, another project going on. And in the wire string out here that I'll be sacrificing for that. Now, like I said, there will be the second set up here against the house. And in summer that might move, because in summer the sun is in a totally different area. In summer, the best place is right around where the wind turbine tower is right now. That was peak summer sun access there. But that all is based on where the trees are located. That's all depending on the trees. Now some might think that my panels are placed wrongly being right there, because it might look like west is right here, sure. But with the sun being at such a short arc, it's rising right here and setting right here. So it's a very short arc. So it might be misleading. That's why people might be thinking my panels are not facing south right now. By the way, changing that to south did increase the solar power output a little bit more. And trimming a little bit of those trees will help. Yeah, a lot to do. A lot going on. Oh, let's go check out the RV battery bank. I'll take you inside. Baby cat, say hi. Hey. There's your baby cat fix for those who love her. The baby, say hi to the camera. Okay, she wagged her tail. It's about as good as she can do. Okay, the sun is off the Harbor Freight solar panel, and I'm sitting at 12.8 volts now on the RV golf cart battery bank, and my little desulfator is happily pulsing along. Now, I think I'm going to leave him on there tonight just to experiment and see how much power that pulls that down overnight, because that solar panel, that's 45 watts of solar, and it was pumping out some serious power today, because that's amorphous panels, and they do a lot better in than the poly and monocrystalline. It's still putting out power now, actually, in indirect sunlight. So I'm going to leave these and see what happens overnight. Well, I've got my wood piles over here. I've got my paths. One runs out behind that tent, and that's where I was digging out wood before. I had a wood pile back there. And then I've got a pathway over to here where I've got a wood pile I'm working at. You can see those are all too long for my wood stove, so I still have to cut them down. And then there's some pallet wood all buried underneath that tarp. If you remember, I have a tarp here on a pallet. So I've got some wood there. And today I dug a new path out to yet another wood pile that I'm working on. If you remember, I had wood piles out here all over. And you wouldn't recognize it, but there's a wood pile. It's in there. See, there's where is it? Where's my camera? Yeah, there's wood. It's down there. So I'm working on this log pile here, And then when that's done, I've got another one. Now that's going to be the fun one. Somewhere out there is another wood pile that I'll be digging out pretty soon. So right now, where the snow is on the ground, I'm living off my wood piles, burning the wood piles that I have collected up everywhere. And it's not a big deal. Like I said before, I knew I'd be digging out here, but this was a matter of just a couple minutes, I think 5 minutes, to shovel this little section here so I could get to another wood pile, and maybe another 5 minutes to go around so I can walk around it this way if I want to. Either way, I've got access. So 10 minutes of shoveling and I've got access to both sides. They're from both directions. This is good stuff. This is left over from what a lady had given me. Some of it's mixed in here. But some of this is, I think it's called locust wood. A couple of these logs are left over. I'm really savoring these because they burn long. So these are my favorites. Not much left, but I got a little bit there. And then I got some bigger logs here. Now these are the logs that I cut this year, and I am burning them. And they're burning well. They're not really causing any more creosote than I had before. So they must have been alright curing out here all year. But I'm doing okay with it. I've got a bunch of these. When the snow melts and all the split wood that I had tossed around, those will probably be burnable too. Because I'm still looking at about probably 3 more months at least of wood burning before this cold spell is over. Probably in April at least, before I don't need the wood stove anymore. Alright, got my hydrometer out. Time to check the levels on the battery bank. Now the day is done and the charge is over, so all I've got to do is test these levels. I'm not able to get that in there as well. These are deep, deep batteries. Okay, here we go. No, we're showing fair. Yeah, we're showing fair, so we're not in the green yet. And that, although I've been charging, running the generator, running the solar for days here, I'm still only in the fair condition. Right between the red and the white range. Wait, there's a bubble there. Now it's a little bit cold out right now, so I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to writing down charts and numbers, all that, but it's right on the edge of the red and the white. I'm not going to go through all the cells. This is a newly refurbished battery, so I'm right between the red and the white range on this. And that being, what's the number on there? What's the specific gravity? 1.25. Specific gravity of 1.25. Sorry, 1.225. 1.225 is what the gravity, specific gravity reading is. I'm going to go in and research online what's the proper specific gravity for this battery bank. But now for tonight when I work, I'm going to run the DC generator, because so far, as I said earlier, I have not yet been using this battery bank, not until it's full. I'm not running any draw off this battery bank after the sun goes down without running some kind of a generator to put more current in than I'm taking out. So I'm really going to be careful with these. Make sure they're topped off and charged very well before I ever put any drain on them.